It seems like you're referring to the Alien story, specifically the Alien franchise, which is a series of science fiction horror films that began with the 1979 movie Alien, directed by Ridley Scott. Here's an overview of the story. The Alien story. The story of Alien begins with the crew of the commercial spaceship Nostromo, which is on a return mission to Earth. During their journey, they receive a distress signal from a distant, seemingly uninhabited planet, LV-426. The crew investigates the signal, and one of the crew members, Kane, discovers a derelict alien ship. Inside, they find the remains of a large alien creature and a chamber full of strange eggs. When Kane investigates one of the eggs, an alien creature, later known as a facehugger, emerges and attaches itself to his face. After bringing Kane back to the Nostromo, the facehugger eventually detaches, but Kane soon dies when a chestburster alien emerges from his chest. The chestburster rapidly grows into a terrifying creature, the Xenomorph, and begins hunting the crew. The story revolves around the fight for survival as the Xenomorph kills the crew one by one. The lone survivor, Ellen Ripley, a warrant officer aboard the Nostromo, ultimately manages to escape in an escape pod, but not before battling the creature in a final confrontation. Themes of the franchise. The Alien franchise explores themes of survival, isolation, and the horrors of the unknown. The Xenomorph itself is a terrifying representation of the perfect organism, designed to adapt, survive, and kill with no remorse. Its life cycle, which involves parasitic creatures like the facehugger and chestburster, plays into fears of body horror and invasion. Subsequent films and expanded storyline. The Alien franchise expanded beyond the original film into several sequels, prequels, comics, novels, and video games. 1. Aliens, 1986, directed by James Cameron. This sequel follows Ripley as she returns to LV-426, now a colony, to rescue survivors after the Xenomorphs have overrun the area. It's a mix of action and horror. 2. Alien 3, 1992, directed by David Fincher. Ripley crashes on a prison planet where the Xenomorph emerges again. It is a darker, more philosophical entry in the series. 3. Alien Resurrection, 1997, directed by Jean-Pierre Jeunet. Ripley is cloned and brought back to life 200 years after her death, facing new xenomorph threats in a futuristic setting. 4. Prometheus, 2012, directed by Ridley Scott. This prequel explores the origins of the xenomorph species and the mysterious engineers who might have created them. It focuses more on the themes of creation, artificial life, and the origins of humanity. 5. Alien Covenant, 2017, a direct sequel to Prometheus. This film continues exploring the story of the engineers and their connection to the creation of the Xenomorphs. The Alien franchise also crosses over with the Predator franchise in films like Alien vs. Predator, 2004, and Alien vs. Predator, Requiem, 2007, where the two deadly species face off. The series remains iconic in both the science fiction and horror genres due to its strong female lead, Ripley, and its groundbreaking special effects, especially in creating the Xenomorph. The film series has influenced countless other works in both film and other media. Certainly. Here's a deeper look into the Alien franchise, including more about its cultural impact, the evolution of the story, and some notable themes and characters. Cultural impact and legacy. The Alien franchise has become a cornerstone of both the science fiction and horror genres, influencing films, TV shows, literature, and video games. The first Alien film, released in 1979, was groundbreaking for several reasons. Horror in space. It blended sci-fi with intense body horror, creating an atmosphere of dread. Instead of focusing on futuristic tech or space exploration, Alien made the audience feel the claustrophobic terror of being hunted by an alien creature. The Xenomorph. The design of the alien creature, created by artist H.R. Giger, is one of the most iconic in cinema history. Its sleek, biomechanical look and terrifying life cycle have made it a symbol of the unknown and the monstrous. Ellen Ripley. Sigourney Weaver's portrayal of Ripley became groundbreaking as well. Unlike most heroines in horror films at the time, Ripley was not just a damsel in distress but a smart, capable, and ultimately heroic figure. She became a feminist icon and a symbol of resilience in the face of overwhelming odds. The Alien films introduced new ideas into mainstream cinema, particularly with the portrayal of strong female leads and the blending of horror with science fiction. The franchise also challenged the norms of the genre by creating complex, nuanced characters who are often forced to face moral dilemmas as well as physical dangers. The evolution of the franchise. As the Alien franchise progressed, its tone and focus shifted with each installment. 1. Alien, 1979, directed by Ridley Scott. This is a slow-burn horror movie that emphasizes tension, fear of the unknown, and the feeling of helplessness. The film is a blend of science fiction and slasher horror, where the crew is picked off one by one, often in terrifying and graphic ways. 2. Aliens, 1986, directed by James Cameron. This film transitioned the franchise from pure horror to action horror. Set 57 years after the events of the first film, Ripley returns to LV-426 with a team of colonial marines to rescue colonists who have been taken over by the Xenomorphs. Aliens features intense action sequences, with the Xenomorphs now presented as a more aggressive and numerous threat. The movie also introduces the iconic battle between Ripley and the Alien Queen, which has become a centerpiece of the series. 3. Alien 3, 1992, directed by David Fincher. This film returns the series to a darker, more isolated tone. Ripley crashes on Fiorina 161, a prison planet, where she faces the return of the Xenomorph in a highly desolate environment. The film explores themes of death and sacrifice, with Ripley once again fighting for survival, this time with a fatal twist. 4. Alien Resurrection, 1997, directed by Jean-Pierre Jeunet. This film takes a more eccentric and surreal approach. Ripley is resurrected through cloning and has to confront the consequences of her own death, as well as the new, mutated versions of the Xenomorphs. The film has a darker, more offbeat tone compared to the previous entries, with a focus on both Ripley's alien nature, she is part xenomorph, and the complex relationships between the characters. 5. Prometheus, 2012, directed by Ridley Scott. This film is a prequel to the original Alien series, exploring the origins of the mysterious engineers, an ancient race that may have created humanity. While it's not a traditional Alien film in terms of direct encounters with xenomorphs, it delves deeply into themes of creation, artificial intelligence, and humanity's search for its origins. 6. Alien Covenant, 2017, also directed by Ridley Scott. This film is a sequel to Prometheus and explores the creation of the xenomorphs in greater detail. It focuses on the synthetic character David, played by Michael Fassbender, and his role in creating the first xenomorph-like creature. It blends the horror of the original Alien film with the larger existential questions posed by Prometheus. Key themes in the franchise. Several recurring themes have defined the Alien franchise over the years. 1. The horrors of the unknown. The xenomorph represents the terrifying unknown. It's an alien life form whose biology and behavior are wholly unfamiliar, and it strikes fear due to its relentless pursuit of the human crew. 2. Isolation and survival. Many of the films emphasize the isolation of the characters, particularly in deep space or remote locations like alien planets. The characters are cut off from help, often fighting not just the xenomorph but their own isolation and fear. 3. Body horror. The life cycle of the xenomorph, from the facehugger to the chestburster, is a horrific exploration of bodily invasion and metamorphosis. It reflects a fear of losing control over one's own body or being overtaken by something alien. 4. Artificial intelligence and humanity. In several films, artificial beings like Ash, from Alien, Bishop, from Aliens, and David, from Prometheus and Alien Covenant, play pivotal roles. They often act as either allies or antagonists to the human characters, raising questions about the nature of humanity, technology, and the potential dangers of creating life that is more advanced than our own. 5. Feminism and Ripley's role. Ripley's evolution as a character, from a somewhat passive crew member in Alien to the ultimate survivor and leader in Aliens and Beyond, has made her an enduring symbol of strength and empowerment. Her character challenges the stereotypical final girl trope in horror films by making Ripley not only the last survivor but also the active and decisive one. 6. The fear of creation. The franchise also touches on the fear of creation, both through the engineered creatures like the xenomorphs, and the artificial life forms like the androids. This idea is explored especially in Prometheus and Alien Covenant, where characters struggle with the idea that humanity may have been created by beings they cannot understand, and that this creation may come with unintended consequences. Notable characters: Ellen Ripley, Sigourney Weaver, the series protagonist and one of the most iconic characters in film history. Ripley is smart, strong, resourceful, and relentless. Throughout the series, she becomes an ever-evolving symbol of survival and humanity's fight against overwhelming odds. The Xenomorph, the terrifying alien creature, is the franchise's central antagonist. Its design, created by Swiss artist H.R. Giger, is often cited as one of the greatest movie monsters of all time. Its biological traits, such as its ability to reproduce through parasitic facehuggers and its near-invincibility, make it a perfect organism in the eyes of many. The androids, characters like Ash, Ian Holm, Bishop, Lance Henriksen, and David, Michael Fassbender, all serve as central figures in exploring the relationship between humans and artificial beings. Often, these androids question the value of human life or possess their own agendas. The Colonial Marines. Introduced in Aliens, the Colonial Marines are a group of military personnel sent to LV-426 to rescue the colonists. Characters like Hicks, Michael Biehn, and Newt, Carrie Henn, become central to Ripley's mission, with Ripley taking on a maternal role toward Newt, showcasing the theme of survival and care in the face of overwhelming danger. The future of the franchise. The Alien franchise continues to have a lasting influence on film, television, and other media. Ridley Scott has expressed interest in exploring more prequels and continuing the narrative of Prometheus and Alien Covenant, though the franchise's future direction is currently uncertain. Fans continue to speculate on possible new entries, with Alien holding a lasting cultural relevance due to its iconic status in the horror and sci-fi genres. With its complex mythology, psychological depth, and unforgettable creatures, Alien remains a standout series in cinema history and a crucial touchstone for both science fiction and horror fans alike.